Well, hello and welcome to Observing the Sabbath. I'm your host, Nathaniel Molnar, and we are finishing up our look at the 1970 Black Sabbath album, Paranoid. We have done it all. We've gone through the whole album. This is the final one. So we're going to be finishing up with this final song off of the album. Then we'll be doing our album review, and then we will be taking a look at all the comments that you guys have been leaving in the comment section for Paranoid. So that's something I did with Black Sabbath, is that I went through and I looked at all the comments that were left on all the different videos, compiled them together, and then kind of responded to them in a video, and I'm going to be doing the same with Paranoid. So do make sure to leave all of your thoughts on each of the songs in the comment section, and then I'll take a look at them and respond to them here in a video on the channel. So let's not waste any more time, and let's take a listen to Jack the Stripper / Fairies Wear Boots. And now. We don't get to hear it now, but it's a very nice flow between Rat Salad right into Fairies Wear Boots. I love this riff. This whole opening part of the song kind of reminds me of the part of the album for Black Sabbath where you have a bit of Finger, Sleeping Village, Warning, where it just kind of goes off on its own path and just kind of goes into this sort of guitar interlude, riff interlude. This is very kind of reminiscent of that part, because it kind of goes off on its own track. And you kind of have a similar thing with Into the Void at the very beginning, where you just kind of have this elongated opening before you actually get to the lyrics. I love this. This riff is so good. Do, 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 do. So, I've always kind of taken this song, because I know when it's an interesting song. I know that when people hear it for the first time, or at least just hear the title, some people wonder whether this is like a homophobic song, or if that's what it's about. I've never taken it that way. I can see why some people may initially question that. I've never taken that way. I think once you get to the end of the song, it's pretty clear that it's just a song about the band, or Ozzy since he's singing it, just completely tripping out on drugs and is just seeing things and is just kind of going nuts. I think by the end of the song, I think that kind of becomes clear. And so, you know, he says he sees fairies wearing boots and dancing with a dwarf, and it's just kind of like all this like crazy. He's like he's going around trying to tell people. He's like, look, this is what I saw this happen. And he's like, fairies wear boots, you gotta believe me, they wear boots. And it's just kind of this weird thing. And then he goes to the doctor and he's just like, hey, come on, you're drinking and smoking too much. And he's like, alright, yeah, I guess you're right. It's just kind of a fun song in that way. Oh, I love that part, that sort of... It's so good. I feel like Fairies Wear Boots is a very underrated closer for an album. Because I think like Into the Void is such a strong closing to that album. Under the Sun is a very strong closing to that album. The Writ is a strong closing to that album. Spiral Architect is a weaker closing, if we're talking strictly closing songs. Swinging the Chain is a great closer, and then the whole Bitterfinger, Sleeping Village, Warning is a very strong closing to Black Sabbath. I feel like we don't talk as much about Fairies Wear Boots as being a strong closer to this album, or being of the closing songs of each album. It's not talked about as one of the stronger ones. I think it really is. It brings all these different elements that the whole album has been going on, and kind of brings it together in a really powerful punch. Great riffs. Alright now. I love those in any of the songs. And here we go, he goes to the doctor. Sabbath does these songs where some songs, I've talked about this before, where some songs they're kind of describing things and it's more about imagery, and then some songs are telling a story. This is one of those story ones that I don't think it's the fact that they're telling a story that makes those songs as good as they are, but rather, I don't know what it is, but just I feel like the songs where they're kind of telling a story in the song, it just kind of, it's stronger. And it's just kind of, I prefer those songs, and I really like those songs, and those songs have a lot of power to them. And again, it's not necessarily the fact that they are telling a story, but it's just those songs work so well. I don't really know how else to describe it. Great fade out. Perfect. Alright, so that is Fairies Wear Boots. Like I said, great closer for this album. It really does. It brings together like the sounds of Hand of Doom, Rat Salad, Paranoid. It kind of just brings all the album together for this song. And you know, for an album as a whole, I'll talk more about the album as a whole once I do my album review. But if you're looking at the album as a whole, you have a lot of political things on that album. You know, you're talking about the Vietnam War, you're talking about nuclear war, you're talking about heroin and Vietnam veterans. You kind of have all these really strong political elements to the album that it just kind of makes sense for who Sabbath is as a band, for the final song to just be, let's just sing about us tripping out on drugs. You know, let's just sing about, let's just make a song about our hallucinations because we're drinking and tripping too much. It's, you know, for a song that's as serious as it is, yeah, close with that one. That's a good one to close out with, you know. That kind of just brings it all together. It just reminds people really what Sabbath is and what they're all about. So, yeah, I think Fairies Wear Boots is a great closing song, a great song in general, great riffs, and it is a rather underappreciated closing song for their albums. So overall, those are my thoughts on Fairies Wear Boots. Question is, guys, what do you think? I want to know, what are your thoughts on Fairies Wear Boots? What are your thoughts on the album in general? We'll be getting to all of that once I do my comments video for Paranoid, reading off your comments and your thoughts on all the different songs. So make sure, get all of your comments in before I do that so they can be part of that video. So thank you so much for watching. My name again is Nathaniel Molnar. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, and you can also find Black Sabbath, or you can find Observing the Sabbath rather. You can also find Black Sabbath on Spotify, but you can find Observing the Sabbath, the podcast version, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So until our album review for Paranoid, thank you for watching.